Morning students. Today we will be doing chapter 4 from Literature Reader, a poem I Remember by Thomas Hood. So let us know something about the poet. Thomas Hood was an English poet, author and humorist best known for poems such as The Bridge of Sighs and The Song of the Shod. Hood wrote regularly for the London magazine Athenaeum and Punch. He later published a magazine largely consisting of his own works. Hood, never robust, had lapsed into invalidism by the age of 41 and died at the age of 45. William Michael Rossetti in 1903 called him the finest English poet between the generations of Shelley and Tennyson. Hood was the father of the playwright and humorist Tom Hood and the children's writer Francis Freeling Broderick. So I read the poem first. I remember the house where I was born, the little window where the sun came peeping in at morn. He never came a wink too soon, nor brought too long a day, but now I often wish the night had borne my breath away. I remember the roses, red and white, the violets and the lily cups, those flowers made of light, the lilacs where the robin built and where my brother sat, the laburnum on his birthday, the tree is living yet. I remember where I was used to swing and thought the air must rush as fresh to swallows on the wing. My spirit flew in feathers then that is so heavy now, and summer pools could hardly cool the fever on my brow. I remember the fir trees dark and high. I used to think their slender tops were close against the sky. It was a childish ignorance, but now 'tis little joy to know I am further off from heaven than when I was a boy. So I remember the house where I was born, the little window where the sun came peeping in at morn. Here morn means morning. So this poem is about the changing nature of time. The speaker recalls his blissful childhood that is still fresh in his memories. He remembers his childhood clearly. He recalls the house where he was born and his bedroom with its little window where the sun used to appear every morning. The sun has been personified and has been given the human quality of peeping or looking in quietly. The poet says that in the morning when the sunlight used to enter his room through the window there, it was as if the sun was quietly peeping or looking into his room through the window. Now here, he never came a wink too soon, nor brought too long a day, but now I often wish the night had borne my breath away. Here borne means carried. He says that neither did the sun rise a second earlier than supposed to, nor did it set too late. This implies that in his childhood the days were never too long. In his childhood the days never seemed too long or burdensome to him. He in fact wishes that when he had slept in his childhood he should never have woken up. He wishes that he should have passed away in his childhood sleep so that he would not have grown up. This reveals that the poet perhaps feels burdened as an adult and misses his childhood freedom and carefree days. Thus, he wishes that he had never grown up. I remember the roses red and white, the violets and the lily cups, those flowers made of light. The poet also recalls seeing many flowers in the garden around his house and the laburnum tree there. Laburnum means a small tree with hanging bunches of yellow flowers. So he describes how beautiful the flowers were with their bright colors. He tells the readers about the beautiful variety of roses, violets and lily cups that grew in the garden when he was a child. As a child, it seems that his focus was on the beauty of nature. In the line, those flowers made of light, the poet has compared the colors of the flowers to light, just like bright light. The flowers too were brightly colored and seemed to be luminous. Luminous means shining brightly. The lilacs where the robin built and where my brother sat, the laburnum on his birthday, the tree is living yet. Lilacs means a bush or small tree with sweet smelling purple or white flowers. So the poet even remembers how birds like robin built their nests amongst the beautiful flowers in the garden. A laburnum tree was planted in the garden by his brother on his birthday, which is still standing at the same place. So, the poet seems to have happy memories of his childhood with the bright sun, the days that did not seem long or burdensome, the beautiful flowers in the garden, and the birthday celebrations with his brother. I remember where I used to swing and thought the air must rush as fresh to swallows on the wing. The poet recalls how he used to swing on his favorite tree in his childhood and move through the air without any care in the world. The wind used to rush against the poet's face as he played on the swing in his childhood. He used to think that the wind must be rushing against the swallows in a similar way as they flapped their wings and flew high in the sky. My spirit flew in feathers then that is so heavy now, and summer pools could hardly cool the fever on my brow. Brow means forehead. So in the line, my spirit flew in feathers then, the poet has compared his spirit in his childhood to feathers. Just like feathers are light and fly with the wind, in his childhood the poet felt light-hearted and joyous. So his spirit was light like a feather and he felt happy at the smallest things and incidents. He did not feel burdened or heavy at heart in his childhood. He also remembers the summer pools which refreshed him in his childhood. But now, as an adult, his forehead is lined with worries and he feels hot. Even those summer pools can't calm him or make feel relaxed. I remember the fir trees dark and high. I used to think the slender tops were close against the sky. Slender means thin and delicate. So the poet here recalls seeing the tall fir trees in his childhood. In his childhood, he used to think that the tops of the tall fir trees reached heaven. Now, as an adult, he misses that carefree time because the real world has stolen his innocence and joy. It was a childish ignorance, but now 'tis little joy to know I am further off from heaven than when I was a boy. 'Tis means it is. So, as a grown up, the poet has become wise and mature, and he knows that the tops of the tall fir trees don't reach heaven. So he realizes that his idea that the top of fir trees touched heaven was a childish idea because children are ignorant, they are innocent. But this realization doesn't make him feel joyous. He in fact realizes that as an innocent child, he was closer to heaven or God, whereas now as an adult, he feels farther away from heaven or God. He feels that he is away from true blessings and real happiness after growing older. So, I hope you all have understood the explanation. Thank you everyone.